Welcome Forex traders to Elite Currency. My name is Chris and this video is going to take a look at the euro dollar and pound dollar. The euro dollar keeps falling, as you can see yesterday, very strong bearish candle and prices approaching the long-term moving average at around 116.50. This is now looking like a very strong push, in fact, a very strong wave 3, and I think that if price does bounce, we will see a wave 4 and a continuation for wave 5. This is not, as a kind of light momentum that will stop and turn without continuation. I do think that one more lower low after retracement is likely. But the question is, how far will this momentum push before we get that wave 4 retracement? And if we look at yesterday's daily candle, that was a pretty strong candle, as you can see. Not a small candle, closed near the low. Momentum is still to the downside because the HMA is down, as you can see, and it's at a pretty good angle. Not as steep as maybe as this part, but still pretty good for continuation lower today, I would say. So today we might see a little bit of retracement of yesterday's daily candle, but otherwise I think more downside could be expected for one more lower low before we could get that wave 4 retracement. And wave 4 Fibonacci level would be put on this swing, for instance, like that, and we could expect a retracement up to the 23.6 fib or maybe the 38.2 fib at 118.60 or 119.80. So that would be the main kind of retracement levels if we get that wave 4. And as you can see, price has stayed below the 21 EMA on the daily chart for the 23rd candle, or the 22 candles in total. This is the 23rd today, and therefore the 21 EMA will be a highly likely bouncing spot, or a resistance zone for a continuation lower. All right, when you get that many candles moving away from the 21 EMA, then in that case, the 21 EMA is very strong and a very likely spot for a support or resistance. In this case, resistance. All right, so down to the 4-hour chart, we can see that price is making a move away from the 21 EMA at this moment. Yesterday we had a breakout to the downside. You can see that maybe a bit better on the 1-hour chart. So you can see this breakout, and I think there's a decent chance that this could be a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is kind of a corrective pattern within the wave 4, most likely. So if we put a fib on the lower time frames here on the 1-hour chart on this potential wave 3, then you can see that as long as price stays around the 38, the 50 fib, that could certainly be a wave 4. A break above the 50 fib would make it a little bit less likely. And of course, if price breaks above the 61.8 fib and specifically this bottom, well, then in that case, this is not a wave 4 anymore. And of course, price is then heading into invalidation territory. So I think that this is a likely wave 4 as long as price stays roughly below 117.50, very max below 117. Let's take a look at the bottom of this wave 1, 117.67. All right, but a break above 117.50 would already make this wave 4 less likely. So price is moving up as we speak, but I think that this is a decent chance that this is just a retracement, a wave 4 kind of pullback, and that price turns at one of these fibs and then breaks to the downside for continuation down to the minus 272 target at 116.44. If it breaks that, maybe 116, maybe even down to 115. Right? We don't know how far this could extend, but these are all potential targets to the downside. Of course, the most conservative target would be the minus 272 target because it's the closest. All right. So a break below this trend line could indicate that the end of the wave 4 and start of the wave 5, and indicate the break of this kind of corrective pattern. At the moment, it's looking like maybe a rising wedge a little bit, right? So that would indicate that more downside is likely. All right, so waiting for a break of this support trend line for the moment. And that's about it, I guess, on the euro dollar. 50-minute chart, break below this 21 EMA as well, just as a break below the trend line would indicate that breakout as well. And this is something we'll keep an eye on ourselves throughout the day. But let's move on to the pound dollar. Pound dollar, basically pretty much similar story as the euro dollar. Huge momentum to the downside, and you can see that these red candles serve pretty well with understanding momentum and the fact that price is below the 21 EMA and the candles are red just helps traders visually see that obviously the momentum is to the downside and when the momentum might be in trouble. We had a couple of spots here where that was the case, but then again we got red candles, so the momentum to the downside was clear and sturdy. Now pound dollar, just a quick recap, basically had this diamond pattern, broke, hooked back, and then continued. And this continuation has been pretty strong and has fallen below 134. And yesterday was a pretty strong bearish candle, just like the euro dollar. Here too, the pound dollar, I must say, many candles not hitting the 21 EMA, just like the euro dollar. So again, this 21 EMA will probably be a resistance spot. On the 4-hour chart, I think we are looking at a potential wave 4. So good chance that price will not enter into these bottoms. But if it does, then we want to be careful again. So these look to be the main resistance levels for the moment. We can also draw trend lines, of course, and connect these tops like this. So as long as price stays below this resistance zone, I think there's a good chance that price might turn and continue with that downtrend. And the next target could be the quarter level of 132.50, for instance. Now, if it breaks above this zone, like this, hooks back, and then there is a chance actually the price might make that bigger retracement up to the long-term moving averages of the 4-hour chart, which is equal probably to roughly the 21 EMA on that daily chart. These lines represent the long-term moving averages of the 4-hour chart. And the lower one, as you can see, indeed, in that 21 EMA zone. All right, so this is the 21 EMA zone on the daily chart. So we could see maybe this breakout to the upside if it pushes above there. Break, pull back, continue like this. For the moment, though, price is heading into resistance, and I think that there's a good chance of a turn with the pound dollar. It does need to break, just like the euro dollar, through the support zone, and then in that case there could be that breakout to the downside. We could have price break through the 21 EMA as well. This could also be a wave 4, so we can put a fib from here to here, and it's kind of the same thing. It stopped at the 50 fib, so max kind of fib we would expect is a 61.8. Invalidation level for this wave 4 is this bottom right here, and in that case this is not a wave 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. Then in that case we would have to reanalyze it, and there could be a different particular wave pattern going on. For the moment, price is not moving lower, just like the euro dollar. It is keeping its head up, but that could change. It could be, it's just London Open is about to start. You have many false breaks, so I think that this could just be maybe consolidation, maybe also a rising wedge pattern. Maybe not a rising wedge, but anyhow, it does look corrective, and as you can see from the choppiness. So just waiting for that breakout to occur on the pound dollar, all right, for the moment. Now, if it doesn't break and it breaks to the upside, I would be a little bit surprised because of the pretty strong break that we had here. I think a follow through for one more lower low is possible, but you never know with the market, do you? Price broke through this support, so for the moment, this support is acting as well as a resistance spot. This trend line, I just can't grab it. 1 second. There we go. So I think that for the moment we are still looking at one more lower low. Now, overall speaking, though, this is a wave 5, I think, and we are looking at a very big wave 3 here. And this was probably wave 1 and 2 up in here. This was a wave 4. So eventually, I do expect price to finish this wave 1, finish the wave 5, and make a pretty sturdy retracement for wave 2, probably as an A, B, C correction. All right, so that is something that could happen later on when finally wave 5 finishes. All right, if you thought that video was useful, we appreciate your share, like, subscribe, or of course, we would definitely appreciate you checking out our website, elitecurrency.com, where we have a lot of free analysis. We also have a free starting package that's called ECS Start. And of course, we also have some systems that you could check out, and our live channel, in fact, through Telegram, and our live approach that we show our own setups. So Check it out if you think this is interesting, and wish you all good trading. Cheers.